Hello everyone, I'm Solo and this is the LCS SOLOloquy. This week we had a lot of close matches and I think it really showed the parity of the league right now, so let's get into it. Let's start with TL this week. This team's so hard to judge so far. They should probably be 4-0 right now, but their drafts have been the worst in the league. So far they only look good when Yan is playing a hard carry and can solo win games for them. I think moving forward, they really need to either be the smart team with good drafts and disciplined play, or they need another player to step up and be a win con. I can't believe I have to talk about APA champ pool again. I don't want to flame. I'm not gonna put him like that, but I think I'm good on the APA Tristana. I think I've seen enough for now. Let's just put a little pin in it and try some other champs next week. Hopefully an AP champ, so we're not making it even harder for Yan to carry, and go from there. IMT. So much better this week. They even got themselves a win, very close to getting a 2-0, but I think just getting out from being winless is great for this team's morale. They looked much more loose this week, especially Castle, who even netted himself a solo kill against Impact. Ole needed to be given engage every game. I think his instincts to start the fights were probably the biggest difference of this team. Tactical still looking great. I'm glad they're doing well. It's never good to have a team that's just a walking L. So I hope they can build some confidence from this and go into Super Week. All right, FlyQuest finally played a good team in Energy. And what happened? Well, they got blown out bad. And even that feels like an understatement. If you ever want to see what a scrim remake angle looks like, then, just look at this game. Can their bot lane stand up against the upper teams? That was the question coming in for them. And it still remains their biggest roadblock, having such a young bot lane. They'll get another chance to prove they're a contender next week versus C9, but for me, until I see a competitive game versus a top team, I'm just not buying in. Shopify, you are so lucky. C9 went and messed around. I was fully loaded, ready to light this team on fire. Listen, this doesn't change anything for me. I still think Insanity is being misused. I still think it's criminal that Fake God is picking champs like Gnar, and don't even get me started on B-Void over my boy Turtle. No, but that'll have to wait, though, because this week you beat the best team in the league, and that deserves some praise. But best believe I've got my eye on you. If I see this team go 0-3 in Super Week, I'm spending the whole show tearing you down. Speaking of teams that are pissing me off, let's do Cloud9. I said with my whole chest this team was going undefeated, and you lose to the last place team on the 4th game? We aren't even at the halfway point, and you guys are already trolling. Like, you could just lock in whatever, do any play, and you'll just win the game. Vayne pick a side, which was bad. Bot lane dive a side which had my eyes bleeding. This game is still within reach. C9 gets the 3rd Drake at 16 minutes, and they're only down 1.5k. A hard game, okay, to come back from, sure. But instead of retreating and waiting for their chance to win, you stick around to get rolled in the fight and instantly lose the game. It's unplayable. This team is way better than this, and I don't want to see it happen again. Energy, my golden child. Thank God you're here. For me, I can't wait for the C9 rematch. This team looks really, really good, and the more I watch, the more I think that C9 game was just first day draftive. Contracts is the best jungler, maybe even the best player these first couple weeks. So any of those tier lists that don't have him first, please just go rewatch the games. Small mention, Dokla Jace solo killed a lot on this champ. Looks like a liability in some games, but you know what? I kind of like it. It's kind of an X factor, and it gives contracts even more lanes to play off of. And credit where credit is due. He does skirmish well and find ways to get involved, even when he is behind on this pick. All right, Dig, what's the deal? What's the deal? I was promised Unchained Rich, picking carry champs and trying to solo kill his opponent at every minute. Instead, you give me Poppy and Ornn. What's that about? You slap this guy on tank duty and you don't even give him a good comp to play with? Let's see. First game, full scaling draft that does nothing but wait to lose. Day 2, an Akali Jhin combo. Barely have enough damage to kill 1 target per fight. Seriously, it's time to give the people what they want. No more tank duty. Lastly, we have the youngsters in 100 Thieves. They have another decent week going 1-1 and keeping up in the standings. It's honestly absurd how much River is accomplishing. I thought he's going to regress a bit. Going from Golden Guardians laners to what he has now, but he legit might be playing even better. It also continues to surprise me how well they do in the mid and late game scenarios where you would expect their inexperience to show. I think anyone who's been a fan of this team since last year, they must be ecstatic going from one of the most slow and boring teams to a group like this who really exemplifies their youth. You know, one of the more entertaining teams to watch this year, especially if you're invested in their young talent. That is a wrap on week 2 of LCS. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And if you have your own LCS hot take, please leave it in the comments below. And I'll be seeing you next week.